Welcome, everybody. Oh, hold on. What do we got going on here? Turn that off, turn that off. Okay. We'll just stick that there. All righty. Welcome aboard. Obviously, we're back on, and then hopefully everyone got my email. Okay. All righty. So today is April 10th, 2025, and we are post the eclipses. And I wanted to talk today about what the energy that we're in now and what's coming up this weekend. And so we just came out of Mercury retrograde. Now, Mercury retrograde in and of itself is not exactly, I wouldn't say it's that big of a deal. You should never stop your life because a planet is retrograde. And a third of people are born with Mercury retrograde. It's not the end of the world. Some people feel it's like a danger zone. I don't know that I agree. I don't agree with that. But when you're Mercury ruled, so like my youngest is a Gemini rising and he's a Virgo. Both of those signs are ruled by Mercury. So when Mercury goes retrograde, I would expect everything comes tumbling down, like I trip and I roll. But he was actually born with Mercury retrograde. So when everybody else is freaking out, he can see clearly. That is the gift. When you're born with Mercury retrograde and Mercury goes retrograde, when everyone's freaking out, it's not so bad. It doesn't hurt so much. But for the 2/3 of people that are not born when, or that are born when Mercury was not retrograde, it does impact everything that Mercury rules over, which is commerce. So that's sales. I know somebody who put in a bid on a house during the retrograde, and let's also add that Venus is retrograde too. And it was a house that they were in love with and really wanted. And, you know, they played the bargaining war. And then they were like, nope, we went with another bidder. Well, yesterday I saw these people and they're like, guess what? I'm like, the house is back up. Yeah, because the bidder wasn't able to back up their funding. And so now they've got another pass at this house that they want really bad. These are the things that you can expect. Now, some astrologers are really stringent. I don't support anything that is overly stringent, like, you know, the traditional ones are don't buy anything with a key, which is a house and a car. But you can't stop living your life. There are better times to do things than others. I'm pretty sure I've said before, when Venus is retrograde, they say don't get married. Well, I do know a couple that got married when Venus was retrograde. Like I need to put things to the test. And they're still together and they're happy. I guess I should look at their charts and see if either one of them were born with Venus retrograde. But as an astrologer, I can say that people who are born with a Venus retrograde, which only happens once every about a year and a half, there are usually bumps in relationships, fumbled relationships, or depending on the sign and the house. But Venus is the planet of relationships. So I do definitely, I can evidence and back it up that when somebody is born with Venus retrograde, that they do have relationship problems or even confusion What kind of people do I love? And really, if you want to go a little bit deeper, who we attract early in our lives are the shadow part of what we need to feel valued. And to get more clear on that, it's going to be the sign to your seventh house or the descendant. So what sign? Somebody's ringing the doorbell here. Welcome, welcome. What sign is at the door of the seventh house? And that's relationships. And as an astrologer, I like evidence. So this will show us that we attract the shadow side of that seventh house ruler. So let's say Scorpio. So let's say you are no, that wouldn't be a Libra rising. Scorpio, you would be a Taurus rising using whole sign. So if you're a Taurus rising, then you're going to have Scorpio, yep, on your eighth house, on your eighth house cusp. So that's going to be the door of your, I didn't mean to say eighth house, on your seventh house cusp. The seventh house is relationships. I was going to hold up my board, but it's down there. You're going to attract, so it might be really great sex because that's a Scorpio thing. They might be really mysterious looking, intriguing, magnetic, but then after you say yes and you get married, now the mask comes off and that you find out that they're very evil or they're betraying you or they're cheating on you, because Scorpio is very sexual and very private. And so it is like a really good poker face. That's Scorpio, very private. I know where all the other game pieces are, and nobody knows my next move because I'm stealth. That's Scorpio. And so your first marriage is ruled, well, yeah, your first marriage is the seventh house. And then if there's going to be a second marriage, that would be the ninth house. Okay, I definitely got off topic. So where we were coming in today is that we're just coming out of this Mercury retrograde. How did things change for you? Mercury, planet of commerce, communication, phones and cars, short travel versus like an airplane, which would be Sagittarius. I needed to zoom out for a minute because Mercury going retrograde, that's a planet. And I said long distance travel is Sagittarius, which is a sign. So the planet for that is Jupiter. The opposite of Gemini is Sagittarius. Okay, so let's pull up the chart. And this is a chart for Saturday. And the reason I chose Saturday is because this is when Venus is now going to go direct. When a planet is going retrograde, it's closer to Earth. And so we feel the intensity of that planet much stronger, but internalized. It definitely impacts us because we live on the Earth. And all of this has to do with perspective to Earth. Okay. All right. So let's see. We still have a whole bunch of stuff going on in Pisces. Here's Venus and Saturn. This is wonderful for time stamping something like a relationship that could have longevity. Saturn is longevity, and Saturn is this brown H looking thing here. That's Saturn. With Venus, that's relationships, but it's also finances. So for the past 40 days, that's how long she's been retrograde. Maybe money's been slipping through your fingers, or maybe relationship matters maybe somebody ghosted you. And after Saturday, they come back because maybe they needed a medical procedure and they were in the hospital and they didn't let you know. Maybe they didn't want you to worry about them. So these are the things that go with the energy of Venus retrograde for the 40 days, and then Mercury retrograde for 3 weeks at the same time, and they followed the same sign. So that's not normal. They were both in Aries, and so that's coming out, fists up, lambasting, whatever. And then both of them went retrograde out of fiery Aries and back into soft, gentle, and subconscious Pisces, where it still is today. Now, Mercury is already out of its retrograde and it's moving forward, and Mercury moves very, very quickly. On Saturday night, here's Mercury. This is the yellow guy right here next to the 28. So 28, that's the degree that it is at this time. And so 28 degrees of Pisces. This headphone, this blue headphone, that's called the North Node. And that's what we need for healing as a collective. And so for us, this is going to be the area of our life that we need to actually find leverage and bring it in, while we need to let go or excrete what's at the opposite side, which is going to be over here, 27. This is Virgo. That is health. Virgo is food. The food's like clean food, grains, the clean food that we grow, harvest, and consume. It also is, actually, this is the health axis. Virgo, Pisces. Pisces is the immune system. Well, Saturn has been in Pisces for 2 years and is getting ready to exit. But this has brought up what? Immunity issues. Another thing it brings up, and this is now on an individual level, going to be able to be realized by the house that this energy is driving through in your personal chart. So if you locate Pisces in your chart, you can know that these planets are occupying that house. Okay. Saturn in Pisces, in and of itself, Saturn is the structure and says stop, and Pisces is water. And so the pressure of that could create water leaks. And that it's very evidential, like astrology never lies. That's why I love it so much. So both of these together, actually all of this stuff together, look, 24, 25, 27, 28. So from the first one to the last one is only 4 degrees. That means all of these planets are kind of creating a cake. And the energy of that cake has to do with standards, values, faith, the ethers, your dreams, and that there could be a hard restriction, constriction, blockage to those dreams. Now, who or what is the blockage? Usually it's us. We have this big, enormous, wonderful goal, dream in our life. If God gave us a blank check right now, I would be, and you fill in those blanks. Happy birthday. Hallie says cake is fitting as my birthday tomorrow. Awesome. All right. So this we've got what we need for healing. That's the blue headphone. And again, it's called the North Node or Rahu. And all of these things together, I got to speak up. But Mercury is in a water sign. So that's telepathy. It's mediumship. It's intuition. Also Pisces things. It's dreams, sleep, dreams, prayers, and meditation. It is higher level consciousness. It is healing. on any level whatsoever, but it could bring up crisis to get there. Why would that happen? Because you're not reading the writing on the wall, because you're not paying attention. Your higher self is like, yo, come on, you wanted to do this? Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. And now that's going to bring up fears. I don't know if I can do that. I'm terrified. Well, how are you ever going to know if you don't try? It's time to start saying yes to some of the things that is being presented to you and overcome your fears. No, obviously that's not uh what's that? It's easier said than done. But if you never start or if you never ask, the answer is always no. Interestingly enough, on this day, which is this Saturday, April 12th, look at this. See the in the first house, the red circle with the dot in the middle, that's the sun at 23 Aries. And look at that. See the key? That's Chiron. That is the wounded healer. Also in Aries, and when it's together, it's called a conjunction. So it's conjunct. So what we're saying is the sun is conjunct Chiron on this day. And in the sign of Aries, that's identity. This is going to be where you feel there's character flaws. This is going to be where everyone, if you are a fire energy, if you're fiery, if you're loud, if you like banging things around, you're athletic, competitive, those kinds of, that's fire, spontaneous, then you were a little kid. If you were not supported in a way that's congruent with your energy signature, stop talking so much. Stop being so loud. Stop bouncing off the walls. You need to sit down. You need to learn how to be quiet. All of that, like trying to tamp you down when you are explosive and you want to learn about the world around you, that creates a fearful person who is afraid of failure, who is afraid of acceptance, who is afraid to speak up. And quite honestly, that's most of the Gen X and previous, which has bled into Gen Y as well. Yeah. This is a wonderful, brilliant time to lean in to what you would call your higher power, whatever that looks like for you. Because this is not religion. Religion has rules. Now, rules, that's Saturn. And with Saturn in Pisces, that's rules clamping down on religion. See, now that's a good thing. And this is no surprise that all the pedophilia in the churches, and what they would do is just hush hush and send them over to that parish and send them over to that whatever. Well, that can't happen anymore. And so this has to do with truth that is coming to the surface so that people are forced to look at it. And only then can we make a conscious choice. Because if we're turning our head, oh, I don't want to see that, I don't want to know about that. Well, guess what? It's not going to go away. It's going to continue to get brushed under the carpet. This is wonderful for, like, the whole kind of the whistleblower community. But right now with Saturn still in Pisces, it depends on who's like in office. And I don't mean that all the way up to the presidential level. I'm not going there, and I'm not going to get into politics ever with anybody or religions really. But it has to do with who's clamping down on the rules, who's looking the other way, where are people being evasive, deceptive, trying to keep everybody drugged? Because guess what? Pisces rules pharmaceuticals too. So with Saturn going through there, there's going to be more regimented rules and restrictions, and things are being scoured or black-lined or redacted or whatever. Well, that's no longer going to be the case either, because pretty soon Saturn's going to be leaving Pisces and moving into Aries. And so if you were born with Saturn in Aries, that's going to be in the later 60s, and then the later 90s. and then coming up. Then you're having your Saturn return, your first or second Saturn return. And that is always a little bit of a wake up call. So when Saturn comes back to where the Saturn is when you were born, the first time around is usually around 28 years old, and all your friends are buying houses and getting married, and you're like, I don't know if I know what I'm doing. And then the second Saturn return is when you're in your later 50s, and then that's almost like a release. So this is where you get your achievements, you get to kind of relax into what you've built for yourself. And if you've done the work, Saturn loves that, and then you get rewarded. All righty. What else? So on this day, oh yeah. So also on this day, it is a full moon. Now, how do you know this? Because here's the moon over here at 24 of Libra. And about an hour or so earlier, it will be on 23. And the sun this day is on 23. So when the sun is opposite where the moon is, we get a full moon. All right. So Saturday is going to be a very powerful, but I also feel challenging day. Why? Okay. First, we have this cake. And it says, are you living your truth? Are you following your own beliefs? Are you living to your own standards? Do you have faith? Do you believe in a higher power? And if so, oh, it's going to fuel you up and fill your tank. So it's good to know that there is a big benevolent something that is rooting for you. And that is the truth. But that is a personal preference, or it's a personal way of understanding. I guess it's a personal opinion. All right. So faith, but not religion, although religion's not excluded. All right. So this day we've got, am I doing what I need for healing? Am I stepping into my higher purpose? Do I even know why I'm here? What is my purpose? Where am I going? And the wrong people in your life are going to say, oh yeah, that was a bad idea. You shouldn't want to dream that big. You don't have too good of odds into succeeding, you know. All right. So these are all the people who are fear-based, and they don't know how to support you. They've got their own issues. Don't take it personally. You keep going anyways. This is what I'm doing, and I'm not letting anyone get in my way. And I have my faith or my higher power to back me up. And as long as you are living in alignment with your faith, with your beliefs, with your goals, and with your dream, this is where it starts getting good. But on this day, you already know, full moons, people are batshit crazy. The sun with Chiron is our identity wound. Where was it that I wasn't able to bang off the walls? I wasn't able to shout from the rooftops. I wasn't able to say what's on my heart. I wasn't able to identify. This is how I really felt about that. And I was afraid to say something. Well, this is your chance. This is an opportunity. However, you don't want to go preaching to the wrong people, like the ones who are fear-based. Stop trying to sell your ideas to people who are closed. If their mind is closed, stop. What I love about moving into this era of Aquarius is this is about finding your tribe. And I definitely am living that evidence. I'm starting to see people that I super resonate come to the surface. And how do I know? Because they're finding me too. They're signing up for my classes. They're signing up for my retreats or my events or my workshops. And then we start feeling like, I feel like I know you. And it's like, I really like you. Not in a creepy way, but this is how we build a sense of community. And that's what's going on. Okay, what else is going on this day? It's a big deal. Today, when I say today, I'm talking about Saturday, April 12th. This is a very big deal. Um, why? We've got what's called a grand cross. What makes a grand cross? 4 T-squares. So if you look over here on the left, it says grand cross, T-square, 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 T-square. And if I scroll down, holy cow, there's even more stuff going on that day. So here's our 4 T-squares, plus there's a yod to the moon. Now, a yod is a rare configuration if you were born with one. And it's also known as a finger of God or a finger of fate. And when we have that, there is an absolute purpose, but it's always in your blind spot. So that's the sucky part, is it comes through epiphanies and realizations and barking up the wrong trees or kissing a lot of frogs or kind of being a little bit on the phony side because you're afraid to be who you are. And when you realize or decide I'm tired of that because it's exhausting me, that's when you find your value, your truth, and that's when your people show up. And it's freaking amazing. So this full moon here with the moon in Libra, that has to do with relationships, but it also has to do with clients, like if you're a practitioner or if you serve people. So this is customers, clients, it's relationships, intimate partners, business partners, it's contracts. This is great. If you put a bid in on a house during Mercury retrograde, here's your second chance because Mercury is now direct, and under this full moon, everything comes to light. I get to see now. That's what a full moon is. It's when the moon is giant and bright and it illuminates the nighttime skies. This is when we get to see what was in the dark. It's good. This cluster cake over here, and then the sun, which is part of the full moon, it's opposite. The sun with Chiron, my deepest wound. All right, so you put all of that together, and Venus has just stationed to go direct. All right, because if I change this chart and I go 2 hours before this, that would be 20. There, see next to Venus up here, this green with the 24, the little remedy sign, that's retrograde. Now here, the headphone, the nodes are always retrograde. So they're always going to have a little R. Now, if we look around the rest of the wheel, this is way awesome. No other planets are retrograde. So let's go back 2 hours later, edit the chart. We add back the 2 hours. So 22 is 10 o'clock at night Eastern. There. Now the nodes are not planets. They're not asteroids. It's actually like a calculated point. All right. Now, again, they're always retrograde. So we don't count those because they're not planets. And now if we look at everything else, nothing else has the little R after it. This is real good. When all planets are in direct motion, you can get shit done. This is real good. We like this a lot. Now, you can resolve things with your relationships because guess what? This full moon means we look to the moon sign, which is Venus. What planet rules over Libra? It's Venus. Venus co-rules over both Libra and Taurus. Okay, so Venus, having just moved forward, is highlighting the cake and can solidify a relationship that feels like it was made in heaven. Why did I say heaven? Because all this Pisces energy. And then the North Node is, this is what I always wanted. Now, before I continue, you still got to use discernment. Just because all that glitters is not gold. There could be somebody who takes your breath away, but you might realize they're deceptive. And so this is not a time to jump into things ever, really, especially if it comes to relationships of any kind. You want to cultivate those. You want to nurture those. If you are planting seeds, you can't like hurry up and rip it up to see how it's doing because you're going to disturb it. Good things have to grow with time. Saturn is time, father time. Venus is love and beauty and resources and money. All right. So this could be someone's trying to sell you an investment or something like that. And it sounds too good to be true. It doesn't mean you say no. It means you got to use discernment and you take little baby steps. Have the sample. Just like at the store when they're doing samples day, I used to do those samples. And you have a taste before you buy. Oh, I don't like that. Well, then you're not going to buy it. This is awesome. Where is it? I'm going to buy 10 of them. So it's sample. It's sample day. There's gonna be some kind of an offer, some kind of something that is alluring, something that is beautiful and sparkly. Doesn't mean it needs to be a yes. It means you got to take it slow and make sure that it is worth the paper it's written on. Highlighting this moon, we have to because it's a full moon. And so all eyes are on Libra. And this is going to bring wonderful opportunities for forgiveness wherever it's needed. People who have plowed all over you, you've got the tire tracks on your back. Because Libra is a gentle energy and Aries is not a gentle energy. And so this is where people that overstepped their boundaries and didn't respect you, spoke over you, anything like that, they might be coming back now with their tail between their legs. And it's up to you whether you accept them back or not. This has to do with who are they to you? Erase the title because if it's, mother, father, whatever, if it's a boss, whatever that title is, strip the title and look at that behavior. If they treated somebody that you care about the same way that they treated you, is this acceptable? And if the answer is no, then you don't need to open that door. You don't need to take that call. You don't need to let them know, oh, it's okay. Abuse me again. No, absolutely not. Because it's speaking to your childhood wound. Your identity's scarring, which everybody has, is being triggered on this day. Now, Chiron moves really slow. So this Sun Chiron conjunction lasts more than one day, but it's intensified on this day because of that full moon. And with Venus, Venus is the ruler of the full moon over here in Libra. So, and Venus just went direct. So this full moon means I can see in the dark. We like this. It could be really emotional. Maybe you were a little bit suspect about your person cheating on you. And they gaslit you. Oh, I would never do. Why would you suspect such a thing? Are you cheating on me? Okay, that creepy kind of putting it back, like that's what narcissists do. Well, on this full moon, the person that they're cheating with shows up at your door. Like there's some hard evidence. Why? Because the full moon illuminates what is in the dark. And this way, of course it's going to hurt or whatever it is, but wouldn't you rather know than to just suspect? So this is going to be a really emotionally intense day. I can hear some of the empaths. Oh, great. But it's going to be one that helps you to find your footing and say, you know what? There's the fucking door. And that's it. And I write you off. Done. No backsies. There's not a lot of fixed energy in the sky this day. There's a lot of fire because of the Aries Looking around the wheel, we've got the water with the Pisces. So water's always emotions, feels, but it's also our intuition. And this is where we're gonna, remember that old commercial, bonk, I should have had a V8. Well, this is what that is for you. This Saturday is that day for you. But Venus doesn't go direct until the nighttime. All right. So it might be I'm starting to see that people are experiencing these things before the day. I used to think it was just me, like certain things would start to come into my life like weeks before the actual transit. And I'm starting to see that this is starting to happen more. Well, today's Thursday and Saturday is the full moon. So we're already within the influence of that full moon. So there might be certain suspicions you have going on about something going on in your life. Doesn't have to be a relationship, but it could be because that full moon is Libra. And so it is the other party, the other person. It's not me because me on this day, I'm sucking my thumb. I'm in my childhood woundedness. Somebody maybe is making me see my scars. Uh, and depending on how well you've healed from your own traumas, is going to be how you react. So this can be a reactive day because all that intensive Aries energy illuminating your character flaw and other people might be trying if you are earth and water, other people might be trying to take advantage of you. Actually anybody, somebody might be trying to take advantage of you. There might be like sales, trying to reel you in. Always, if you're out in a public setting like at a bar, cover your drink or you have a lid on it. That Pisces energy can, being drugged, um, pharmaceuticals, addictions. What this is great for? You might realize, oh, damn, I ate that whole chocolate cake again after I swore myself off of buying it. I'm kind of seeing, I have a very specific cake that I'm seeing. It's Pepperidge Farm. The frosting, it look it's light brown, and it has like yellow custard inside of it. Bavarian, I think this is. So there might be somebody who's watching now or watching later, it's always now, who really loves these little cakes. And so you buy it and then you eat it over the weekend, and then it was so good, it's so satisfying, and you get on with your life, and then all of a sudden it's in your head. It's just like being addicted to alcohol. I can vouch for that. Um, Something kind of like, oh, or something sets you off. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna get a bottle of this, or I'm gonna get that cake, or and so because water, water energy is more prone to depression and more prone to addictive tendencies, escapism tendencies. Escapism is tied in with Pisces energy. And then full moons, the moon is ruled by Cancer, like by default. This day under the full moon, it's going through the sign of Libra, but the moon is our emotions, and it's always intense emotions under a full moon. All right. So the Aries Libra axis is about relationships. Me is Aries, we is Libra. And then prior to this January, the year and a half that ended in January, it was that axis that was getting rattled the crap out of. So lots of long-term relationships crumbled, could not survive. Long-running jobs, these commitments, customer service, suddenly were terminated or came to an end. Well, this is lighting that up. So if there was a relationship that ended, this might be where your wonderful person enters your life. And with Venus direct, that's awesome. And with Venus and Saturn conjunct the North Node and Mercury, and they're all direct, this could be something that holds huge longevity, opportunities for you. But again, you gotta take it slow. You've gotta nurture your crop and let it grow and see if, somebody's trying to sell you an apple seed and you plant it and it's some ravenous, contagious, poison oak or something like that. You've gotta go slow. So that's the big, I guess, warning sign or suggestion is whatever happens to you, today's Thursday, today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's awesome, but don't just take it at face value. You've got to do your due diligence. You've got to like vet your person. So like, Google them or, whatever it is. See if you have friends in common. If you're looking at new employment, look at Glassdoor and see what former employees have to say about reviewing their employers. That's how you do your due diligence. You've got to do a little bit of research. You don't want to, go home with somebody and now you've got an STD or something like that. Because Mars, excuse me, Aries energy is also sexual energy. Aries is sexual and its ruler is Mars. So we're going to look to the health of Mars. Mars is not well in Cancer. And so that's emotional, confrontational, and conflict. And wow, it's at 27 degrees. We have a lot of yeah, holy cow. So that's the next thing that's lighting up for me now is we look everything except Jupiter, except Pluto. Everything else, okay, also except Neptune. Everything else is in late degrees. Let's take a look at this. So late degrees are like the final, think of thirds, okay? All of the signs, the degrees goes from 0 to 29. So if we counted 0 as 1, that's a total of 30. So the first 10 degrees is the raw energy, the next 10 degrees is like the stable energy, and the final 10 degrees is the tying a bow on it, the conclusive and getting ready to put it to bed kind of an energy. Well, this is indicating there's a lot of things that are getting ready to be put to bed. And then Pisces is the very last sign of the zodiac. So that's kind of permanent endings. Let it die, whatever the it is, because how can I start a new relationship if I'm still bleeding about my former one? Okay, how can I start a new job when I didn't even collect all of my stuff from my former job and I didn't have my exit interview and all of that? So it's being able to have clean endings so you can have fresh new beginnings to the best of your ability. All right. Now, which one of these are going to be in harmony? Ooh, I like this. All right. So coming back to that Mars at 27 Cancer, that is, I can't wait for it to get out of there. Just Mars and Cancer is sticky with family members, sticky with emotions and people being confrontational, and it just sucks. And if you're Mars ruled, that's going to be Aries and Scorpio, and that's going to be your moon, sun, or rising sign. Then this is dragging you through the emotional shit. I almost want to say shit grinder, and it's you going through it. And that doesn't feel good. But pretty soon, Mars is going to go back into a sign that it loves, which is Leo, and we're going to feel so the frick much better. I can't wait for that. All right, let's come back to this. So it being in a water signs love water signs. So if anything else is in water, that is an aspect that we call in astrology a trine. And it's friendly and it's good. And it's the blue lines in the center of the wheel. Mars in Cancer, even though it doesn't do well there, it is actually talking to this cake. And that is helping add fuel to our fire, which means it's giving us the strength to walk away. I kind of love that. I almost feel like some MTV music videos. Everything's burning to the ground behind me. And I walk away triumphantly because I stood my ground and spoke my piece and said what I needed to say. We like that a real lot. And so that's a good thing about this full moon. Is anything else in water this day? That nah. All right, so what else do we have? Late degree. This red guy down here in the second house, that's the planet Uranus. And you'll hear astrologers say it all different ways. Uranus, Uranus. I learned in fourth grade Uranus. I will laugh every time because I am silly. Whatever. So it's been in the sign of Taurus for about 6, 7 years. It does not like being in there. And it is getting to it. So all of these later degrees between 21 and 29 is endings, tying a bow on things. And when it gets close to the edge, then volcanoes happen. Like literally. Earthquakes, tsunamis, all that kind of stuff. Now, full moons also bring on that stuff. Now you can go ahead and make a prediction. Flooding, volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, weather events. I'd bet money that something's going to happen. A weather event, a natural, I guess you would call it a natural disaster. I just don't like that phrase. Because we don't want, loss of life. It's out of our control, though. And that's what Uranus is. It's out of our human control. It's also lightning. And Earth likes water. So Uranus is in Taurus, which is an Earth sign. So actually, this is a very potent day. So Uranus and Mars. Uranus is explosives. Mars is fire. In water and earth. This is just underlining lava, explosions, sudden explosions, sudden eruptions. Mars is also accidents. So there could be a boat accident, a water sport accident. Athletes. Athletes are ruled by Mars. This is an extremely intense day. The more we look at it, the more we're finding. All right. Now, Uranus and Mars, they're not the same element. This is earth, this is water. So that's a green line. And in astrology, we call that a sextile. Oh, so I am teaching an astrology course. I was going to launch it in April, but I got too backed up and everything else. So I'm actually going to launch it in May. And it's going to be the second half of May because I just need time to get it figured out on my calendar. But right now it is on my website and it's a giant, so what the offering is, there's 3 levels. You can take, like the level 1, or go all the way, which would be 28 weeks. I think it goes 10 weeks. And the last one's 28. I forget what the middle one is. And so you can go as far as you want to. And let me find let me give you the page in the chat here, because I taught it last year. Oh my God, everybody loved it so much that they want more. And there's always more. Like there's never a time that you know everything there is to know. The more you realize the more you realize how much you don't know. And so I'm forever learning. I am forever studying, and it's what makes me really happy. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut and paste this in here, and we'll get the date sorted out, and it will be 2 hours once a week. And then at the end of each day, I send you the 2-hour recording link so you can watch it forever. And then whatever the slides that I use, and you get some worksheets and you get a little bit of homework, but it's easy and fun homework. Like nothing I do is cumbersome. Everything I do is fun and easy and light. So if you like these, little freebies, then you will super love learning how to read astrology, learning how to read somebody's profile, behaviors, how to screen for the red flags if you're considering dating somebody, or like compatibility. You get to learn all this stuff, and it's way, way awesome. So let me come back to the chat and just stick it in here for you guys. And I'm just catching up on the, oh, I love ice cream cake. Awesome. Oh, very awesome. Okay, here's the link for the astrology class. Okay, so there we go. Let me come back to you here. And I lost my Zoom page. I mean, I know I know I'm still here. I just can't find where to come back. Here. There we go. Okay. Awesome. All right, does anybody have any questions about that day, this weekend? The yod to the moon. The yod to the moon has to do with a blind spot. So this is where you can have an illusion or a delusion. And the person of your dreams enters, from the shadows of the night, and here they are. Oh, no, 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 no. One step at a time. Are they married? Are they, you know? Um, all that glitters is not gold. And so the blind spot is between the moon in Libra and the is that right? Yeah. And all of the Pisces energy. And then it's also between the moon and that Uranian energy, which is further amplified with Mars. So this could be a volatile day. It could be emotional, abrasive, explosive. And how do you deal with this? How do you work with this energy? It's going to be by journaling, because air signs, the moon will be in an air sign, loves to journal, doodle, create, draw, paint. This is a highly creative energy. And then how do you dispel your anger? Now, it might be reflection on the loss of loved ones, especially people from your family, from your younger years. Damn it, I wish I could have gotten on my father's radar, or I wish I could have said this to my mother, or what, those kinds of things. I wish I would have had a better relationship with my sibling, or even my child, whatever it is. So go ahead and cry it out, because that Pisces energy needs you to let it go so that you stop walking around feeling bad about it. You've got to allow it to process. That's how to work with that yod on this day. It's definitely intense. And so meditation, always a good thing. Prayer is always a good thing. But with the sun and fire, it's illuminating. It could be illuminating the people that did you dirty, the people that did not serve you well. And I can't think of anything else. You don't want to take risks on this day. Don't take risks. I wouldn't go running for a marathon. I wouldn't go skydiving, anything like that. Do be paying attention to your dreams, for sure. Because your dreams during this time are very revealing, and they might be really weird. But it's your subconscious bringing up other stuff that needs to be processed and released. And if you want help, like discerning or understanding what's going on in your dreams, your own subconscious, you could always book a reading with me. All right, guys. So we are already at the end of that hour. A lot of information. It is a big, big, powerful weekend. So you want to ride it in a way that's going to support you, doing what is in alignment with your values, doing things that make you feel good. That's how you ride it. Turning off, I always recommend turning off the TV. TV is just not a good frequency. Unless you want to watch like a sad movie because you need to process some buried emotions. because that's the stuff that could show up. You see something, it triggers you and you get all welled up. You need to let that process. Maybe you get one of those big blow up toys, like the big clown you could punch, because you might be angry and you might want to take it out on something in a safe manner. Speed bag, punching bag. There are places you can go and break things. That's a great, I hope whoever invented that is making a lot of money, because that's a great idea. And there also is, at least where I am, there's places that you can throw axes too. I haven't done it yet, but ways to take out unprocessed anger, resentment. I didn't get to speak my side of the story and I'm pissed about it. Well, this has to move. It's got to go somewhere. Give yourself the space to let it out in a safe manner so that you don't cause harm to yourself or blow up on, innocent people. All right, so there you go, everybody. I hope to see you on my next week's freebie. Oh, I am bringing a phenomenal astrologer he's from Hungary. He is coming here, Astro Victor. So if you've ever watched Astro Lotta, Astro Victor, I met through her, and he is coming to Western New York, June 6th through the 9th for a 3-day retreat. I'm also co-hosting this retreat, and I'm going to be doing a big sound bath journey. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. 3 days of instruction about crisis and trauma in the chart. And then you can have a chance to work with him, like personally. He'll be reading our charts, as long as there's not like so many people that he can't get to everybody. And then it's on early bird now. It's $777 for 3 days of instruction. And so this is invaluable information that will help you understand yourself, where your chart has things that aren't so easy to deal with, and then he gives you the remedies to them. So how to work with challenging aspects in the chart, so valuable, not just for yourself, but for your family, for your loved ones. I cannot wait. You can go to my website, suzy-woo.com, or astrovictor.com, and tickets are there. If you have any questions, just feel free to email me. Okay, I think we got in everything that I wanted to get in. Thank you very much. I'm going to give you a great big hug. Thank you, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.